We all have things that are important to us and that make us happy. But what is important to you might be different from what is important to me. If you are a young person with type 1 diabetes, it can be challenging to do the things that are important to you because you have to take care of your diabetes 24/7. One of the important aspects of managing type 1 diabetes is to avoid hypoglycemia, also known as a low blood glucose level or a hypo. And if you have a hypo, you can feel dizzy, confused, shaky, or tired. And this can be stressful, disturbing, and unpleasant, but it can also be dangerous. For example, when you are cycling to school and you have a hypo on the way, or in very severe cases, you can pass out from a hypo. And while there are many technological developments that have helped to reduce the frequency of hypos, many young people with type 1 diabetes still have multiple episodes per week, and they also have to live with the risk of getting a new hypo at any time. And of course, you can imagine that this must be challenging and stressful. But surprisingly, there is not that much research that have investigated how hypoglycemia affects the life of young people individually. Because previous studies that have looked at this only looked at young people together in a group. And me and my colleagues at the HyperResolve project are working together to address this and to better understand how hypoglycemia affects the personal lives of young people with type 1 diabetes. Therefore, we have conducted a study and we have asked 75 young people with type 1 diabetes what is important to them and then how having hypoglycemia impacted on these things that were important to them. And they told us that not only having hypoglycemia, but also having to treat hypoglycemia in any situation and worrying about having another hypoglycemia at any time impacted on many important aspects of their lives. For example, their relationships with their friends and family, how well they could concentrate at school, if they could go to sports or not, and their sleep. And I think this is really important because it shows that there should be attention in clinical care to help young people dealing with this psychological impact of hypoglycemia. Because as long as there's no cure for diabetes, hypoglycemia is a daily reality for young people with type 1 diabetes. And my hope is that our research helps to find better ways to support these young people to do the things that are important to them and make them happy.